Welcome to Holding Down the Fort, a podcast show dedicated to curating knowledge, resources, and relevant stories so military spouses can continue to make confident and informed decisions for their families. Because, let's face it, we know who's really holding down the fort. I'm Jen Amos, a Gold Star daughter, a veteran spouse, and your host for today's show. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Holding Down the Fort. I hope that you had a good weekend. At the time of this announcement, many places, here in Virginia at least, are beginning to reopen, such as restaurants, gyms, and other public places. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling hopeful, and I hope that you are too. One thing that I've come to appreciate in the recent months is the importance of community despite social distancing. So with that said, I want to remind you that Holding Down the Fort now has a newsletter, and it's a great opportunity for you to continue to have knowledge, resources, and relevant stories so that you can continue to make confident and informed decisions for you and your family, and most of all, be in community with the Holding Down the Fort podcast. In addition to that, it's not just me sharing content, but also the people that we have interviewed in the past. You'll get to see the good work that they're doing, their recent projects, or educational content from their blogs. So if you want to be part of our growing community, I encourage you to sign up for our newsletter. It's free, if that isn't obvious already. Just visit holdingdownthefortpodcast.com or check out the show notes of this episode. Holding Down the Fort is brought to you by the company I'm proud to be a part of, which is US Vet Wealth. At US Vet Wealth, we educate and empower veterans and their families on how to have personal autonomy in their lives by applying our 3 pillars of financial control, self-development, and identity. For anyone that is looking to improve their professional presence online, specifically on LinkedIn, especially veterans and military spouses, US Vet Wealth is offering a free 30-day LinkedIn masterclass. You can register today at usvetwealth.com/LinkedIn or visit usvetwealth.com. You could also contact me at my business email address, jen@usvetwealth.com, all in the show notes, of course. Now, we've recently pivoted our weekly action class that typically takes place on Friday for free as well, from talking about the top business books or personal development books available today to now really our office hours for our LinkedIn students to get their questions answered as they go through our masterclass, facilitated by our LinkedIn expert, founder of US Vet Wealth, and of course, my husband, Scott R. Tucker. If you want to participate in our office hours, if you have questions about LinkedIn, we encourage you to join us. Learn more at usvetwealth.com or email me directly at jen@usvetwealth.com. All right, that's all the announcements I have for today. Really excited to dive into this next interview. I think it's a fun one. We get to talk about salad dressings and what this veteran-owned business is doing to change the way salad dressings are made. Please enjoy. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Jen Amos here with Holding Down the Fort. And every time I get to do another show, it means that I get to interview another incredible person in our military community. I want to introduce you all to Stacy Currie, who is the wife of United States Marine Corps veteran. Also, Stacy has been an educator for over 25 years at the high school and university levels. She is always busy developing and testing recipes for a wide variety of salad dressings and marinades, including recipes using Semper Savage products. Her hard work ensures that Semper Savage product offerings continue to grow along with the company. She drives all aspects of product production, guaranteeing continued excellence and quality, so Semper Savage products remain the best in the marketplace. Stacy is an avid hiker who loves all aspects of outdoor life. Stacy, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jen. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's my absolute pleasure. I'm so glad that Kirsten was able to connect us. I was curious to know, how do you know her and Kimber and VertForce?
So great. So I think this veterans, supporting veterans We were on a podcast a few months ago, and John actually was talking to the guys in the podcast afterwards, and he came back to me and said, hey, we have this potential company that can help us with marketing strategies. So we talked about it, and we met up with Kimber and had a conversation and decided that we were very interested, and we moved forward. And so we've been working with them for almost 2 months now and have been extremely happy. Met up with Kirsten, and this is my first podcast. So something's working because she's definitely booking us on podcasts and blogs and Instagram.
I love that. I didn't realize that Kimber and her team were also offering marketing services. So, I mean, we've worked with Kimber and her team for about a year ago, actually. She had helped my husband and I in our business at US Vet Wealth bring on interns and really help us formulate like our internship program. Because I remember when we initially started, we were just looking for salespeople, and they mentioned like, it probably would be better to offer what you're doing as an internship because you're more likely to get people who want to actually learn and actually want to be there, as opposed to people that are just looking for a buck. So that was really profound advice from them. So yeah, shout out to Kimber and Kirsten and VertForce. And I'm just happy to hear that they have another happy customer working with them.
Exactly. Yeah. So we were looking at the website, and on our end, we thought it looked good. And so after talking with Kimber, they went in and they took just kind of a cursory look at the website, gave us some thoughts and ideas about how to change the website, how to get more people actually to come to look at it. And we're continuing and progressing very well. So the next step is going to be working with media outlets and social media and things like that. So yeah, we've been really pleased, and we look forward to the next few months, and hopefully things are really going to launch and take off.
Yeah, absolutely. I also like that you have an affiliate program. I noticed that it's like, oh, for anyone that wants to promote the products. And I think in you reaching out to podcast shows, you might be able to find some, podcast shows that want to affiliate, with you. And I was looking, I was like, maybe, maybe we can talk about this like afterward. But I think it sounds like you all are really doing a great job, like strategizing. And I'm happy to kind of be at the cusp of like your online marketing presence. And I hope that, this show will help amplify your business that much more and, just be a part of your journey.
Well, you are right. We are on the cusp. And actually, after this podcast, I'm going to go onto our website and do a trial affiliate submission or process, because we are so on the cusp that we're not there yet, but we're hoping within the next day. And we are excited about joining and working with affiliates, because I think they can get the word out, and then they will have a benefit. Hopefully they will make sales, and then also their customers will benefit because they can buy some product and the customer will get a discount, and then the affiliate will get payment for any products that they sell. And that's also going to be a reoccurring thing too. So if that customer comes back, they can use the affiliate page and then continue to receive the discount, and the affiliate still gets to get paid.
That's beautiful. I think more businesses should do that. more businesses should encourage raging fans, to recommend their services and actually like profit from it, So I think it's awesome that you're doing that. I mean, I can't really think of any salad dressing company that offers a program like that, particularly, like a veteran-owned business offering salad dressing. So I think it's really fascinating. And that's why I felt like I needed to point it out. I was like, oh, that's the first time I've seen that for this type of business.
Well, hopefully it's up and running by the end of today. So I really am feeling positive about that.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, awesome, Stacy. So we're kind of teasing the audience about what we're going to get into. But before we do, for people that are getting to know you for the first time, Stacy, why don't you share just a snapshot of your life right now, particularly what keeps you excited or busy nowadays?
Sure. Okay. So we are a blended family, and between the two of us, we have 5 children. So
oh my gosh.
Now they're all grown between the age of 24 and 18. So they're grown or almost grown, but they're up and down the East Coast from New Hampshire to Florida. So that really keeps us busy.
Yeah.
Like you said, I am a teacher. I've been teaching at the university right now since 2005, but then I was formerly both a middle school and a high school teacher. Prior to that, I was a biologist. I worked with fisheries biology. And so I like to spend my time outdoors. I'll do a lot of hiking. I do some long distance hiking, which is kind of a fun fact for me. I like to go for maybe out for a week or so, out for a hike. But now during this COVID, where we've been quarantined, I keep my outdoors in my backyard. And so I have a lot of critters that I critter watch. And that kind of keeps me happy, especially during times where we have had long days of work. And I've been really busy with Semper Savage. So we have our 2 products that we'll talk about soon. But then I'm also always looking for suggestions, and I work in the kitchen to try to think about how we can make new products and improve on what I've already started.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I was watching the About video on your website, and when I saw just a snippet of your family, I was like, oh, that's a big family. And so I appreciate you explaining like, oh, we're a blended family. Yeah. I was like, wow. And so your husband is a veteran. How long ago did he, retire from the service?
I believe it's been about 10 years.
Okay. So it's been some time. Okay. So I was wondering if it was like something recent. And were you a part of his journey while he was on active duty?
No, I was not a part of that journey.
Okay.
But he's now working with the government and he's deployed again. So we're on a new journey together.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I appreciate you sharing that because I met my husband after the service, so he was already out of it. I think probably like probably a decade also. Like he's already been out of it. And yet I still feel like I've inherited, I don't know, just some of the military life, like the way that he acts and how we're always restless and like wanting to move to another place and stuff like that. And, combined with my military child background of moving every 2 to 3 years, I was like, oh, I guess we don't ever feel the need to settle anywhere. But I think Virginia Beach is going to be our place for at least 3 to 5 years. I'm like crossing fingers that this is like the place that we feel like is our home together as a couple, because we're a young couple as well. Like we've been together for almost a handful of years now. And so just getting adjusted to, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you. Let's figure out how to settle in on that.
Yeah.
So
I'm in a similar situation, but a little bit different. Born and raised in Maryland. I've lived here my entire life. I've done a lot of traveling, but I've just moved from within our state. And you coming from California, Maryland's not a very big state. So thinking about the possibility that we may move was a little bit shocking in the beginning. I thought like I'm a little bit older now. I didn't think I was going to be up and moving, and we may not, but that option is definitely out there. But yeah, I've born and raised in this small state of Maryland, but I've done a lot of traveling.
Yeah. Well, it's a small state, but it's a mighty state. We can't deny that. It's Maryland. We just can't. I also think that's really cool how you do what you call long distance hiking. Because in my mind, I thought, oh, she's just out for a couple hours. I didn't know you'd be out for like an entire week. That's amazing.
Yeah. The longest I've gone is 10 days. And so I've done things like I hiked the Shenandoah from the south end all the way up through the north end. And it's hard to find people to do that with you. So most of the times I would do that by myself. And I haven't done it a lot in the last couple of years. Semper Savage has kept me pretty busy, but I do enjoy a day hike. But yeah, for a little bit of R&R and kind of just putting down your phone and just really getting back to nature and getting back to kind of thinking about who you are. Nothing better than out there by yourself hiking.
I wish I was brave enough to do that. So I applaud you because I just think, even if I step out of our house and I get a mosquito bite, I'm like done. I'm like, I can't. Or like even right now, because we live on the beach and yet there's so many critters like in our area and we've had like mice in the house. It's awful. And literally the other night I woke up really late or really early in the morning, however you see it. And there was this mouse in the house and it was literally like, it was trying to like sprint from one place to the other. And I was just like, it just really freaked me out. It was really cute though. I was trying to get in this mindset of like, okay, it's a cute mouse and it has its reasons for being here. And, we just got to make it work. We got to call someone to help us with this. But anyway, I just want to say I applaud you because even if I walk out on the beach at night with my dog, like even I'm kind of like looking over my shoulder. So I can only imagine what it's like to just be by yourself for 10 days hiking.
Yeah, you see a lot of people. And I wanted to comment on your mouse. I'm the one that people call to get the mouse. It's a mouse or a spider. I think being a biologist, I've worked with a lot of different plants and animals and did a lot of my work outside. But I am the one that people would call to say, And, the only thing I don't like are cockroaches. And so nobody likes cockroaches.
No.
But
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like we have cockroaches on the roof, especially in the summertime. And there was this one time where my husband left, this is bad. He like left a cup of wine out. And the next day there was a cockroach in it. And I was like, how did that cockroach get in there to begin with? I mean, it's a wine cup. Like it has like a thin, stick in the handle. And it's like, how did it make its way? It's just cockroaches. So anyway, like I said, I applaud you for just how normal that is for you. Because for me, I can't even imagine. I don't know what I would carry. I don't know what I would bring with me. I would definitely bring my dog with me. I'm pretty sure I would do that.
Yeah.
But I think that's an awesome hobby that you have. And even for myself, I'm thinking like, I need to find like a new hobby that gets me to just want to exercise. So anyway, thank you so much for sharing that, Stacy. And we've been kind of teasing at this for a while now, so let's just jump into it. And let's talk about a little bit about Semper Savage. So I was reading a little background about your company, and why don't you share the story? Because I think it's a beautiful story, because Semper Savage is veteran owned, it's family owned. And I feel like in our conversations via email back and forth, I just felt this homeness, like this feeling of home from you. Like you just seem so homely, I think is the right word I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I think it really reflects on, what your business and what it stands for. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Semper Savage?
Sure. Well, I'll even start with, since we are a blended family, we got married later on in life.
Mm-hmm.
During one of our first dates, I was over at John's house and I was cooking. I said, well, let me come over and I'll cook a meal for you. And so he said, well, let's have salad. And he says, I make this great salad dressing. And he talked about it before.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had not made it yet. So as I was preparing the food, he started to make this salad dressing. And what he would do is he had this plastic container, and then he would start with the olive oil and the vinegar, and he just eyeballed this. And so he poured it all in. And the one thing that I think, I don't really talk about it much, but was that he said, now you have to shake the hell out of this stuff. And he started shaking it. And then he was making these faces. And he says, and then he stopped and he said, oh, I forgot to tell you that the salad dressing doesn't taste good unless you do the mixing chant. And I thought, what is he talking about? And so then he started to vigorously shake it, because as you know, when you make your own salad dressing with your olive oil, you really have to shake it vigorously to emulsify it. So he had this mixing chant, but I didn't hear a thing. He didn't say anything. And so I said to him, wait, I can't hear the mixing chant. He said, it's a secret. Only the dog and I know the chant. Right.
Wow.
And so I'll go fast forward and say, I finally did hear the mixing chant. And it was just this melody of all these crazy sounds. There weren't any words in it. We had this kind of on and funny joke about, I want to hear the mixing chant. I want to hear the mixing chant. So he first made it then for me. Mm-hmm. But when we went to family functions or we would go out to picnics, people would say, like, what are we bringing? I have this macaroni and cheese dish that I like, and people like me to bring that. But then people started saying, John can bring the salad. John can bring the salad dressing. Mm-hmm. So it started happening where we would just bring it everywhere. And people would say to him, you should market this. You should put this in a bottle. And so, and so we talked a little bit about that every once in a while. And then, so the fall that you were talking about was when my one daughter was the oldest daughter. She was going to school and she was living off campus, but she was going to the same school where I teach. So I would see her quite often. So she sent me a text and she said, Mom, can you ask John if he would make some salad dressing and can you bring it up to me? She said, I ran out. I tried to make my own and it tasted like ass. And I'm reading this on a text. This is serious, right? You can't make this up. I'm like, oh, so I said, hey, can you make some salad dressing and I'll bring it up for Rachel? And he said, sure. So we started this routine of I would collect the empty container. I would give her the container full of salad dressing. And we did that all fall. Mm-hmm. And so then before winter, before Christmas, she came to me and she said, Mom, I have this great idea for a Christmas present for John. And we've done a lot of make your own Christmas presents. I really find that it's fun to do, they're fun to give, and it's really personable. So she said, I'm going to get a case of mason jars and I'm going to get a picture of John's face on it. And we have this picture, it's on a lot of social media, and it's this picture where he has this arm around camera on and he's making a warrior face. We were at the Renaissance Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And so she puts the picture on and it says, John Currie's world famous salad dressing. She put this label on all these bottles, and she wrapped it up and gave it to him for Christmas and said, Merry Christmas. And inside was a note that said, please fill this with salad dressing. He was really tickled. He opened it up and he pulled out the jar. We still actually have some of the jars left over. And
I love it.
Afterwards, we talked about it and said, you know what? We really need to start thinking about how we can do this.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And so that's really kind of how the idea started.
That's awesome. I think it definitely is an art to make salad dressing. Like I said, I'm just super basic about it. I just do, extra virgin olive oil and then squeeze a lemon and pepper and like sea salt or whatever salt I have available, like Himalayan salt or something. And so that's usually like my go-to. And your salad dressings are really fun to look at. First of all, there's so much going on in them. And then I like the whole activity of shaking it before adding it to my salad. So I think that's really awesome. So let's talk a little bit about why Semper Savage has started. Now, I know for myself, part of why I don't like to buy salad dressings is because I just don't know what's in them. And it sounds like that's something that you and your family wanted to tackle.
Yeah. So we really found out that the salad dressing industry has a huge problem. And the problem's been going on so long that most of us are accustomed to this watered down flavor that they've added salt and sugar and all these other natural flavors added. Mm-hmm. And so again, just like you said, John's been making his own salad dressing for like 20 years. Mm-hmm. And he used to work at a pizzeria when he was younger. And then he found this salad dressing that he really liked and he tried to emulate that. Mm-hmm. So he spent a lot of years trying to get that exact taste that he wanted. And so when we were looking at, thinking about doing this salad dressing company, we spent, first it was minutes, then it was hours, and now I think it's probably days at the grocery store, standing in the salad dressing aisle, looking at the back of these dressings. Mm-hmm. And what we find is that they might say extra virgin olive oil, but then there's a blend. So if it has extra virgin olive oil, there's a blend. And you don't know if it's 20% olive oil and then 80% corn oil. There's a lot of other oils like safflower and other oil blends. They water them down, they add salt, they add sugar, they add all these other preservatives. And so the more we looked at it, we said, look, we want a salad dressing that you can get those ingredients off of your counter, off of your cupboard, and pour them in, and you can read and you can understand all the ingredients. And the best part I think about our product is that you don't have to make it. We've done the work for you, and it's in a bottle. The only thing you do have to do is shake it up, because you can't just take it out of the refrigerator and pour it, because you have to make sure that oil and that vinegar is mixed together.
Right. Otherwise you get too much of something or
too much of oil, too much vinegar. The other thing I want to say is that our dressings are robust. Mm-hmm. So the olive oil, if you know what that olive oil is, I like it, but it's a strong taste. And then we also add vinegar and we don't water it down. So the vinaigrettes taste vinegary. Yeah. But again, the other thing I do want to say is because there isn't any water, you don't have to use as much. Mm-hmm. Because when you are using something with water in it, that water is going to drop down out and end up in the bottom of your container, whether it's your salad or whether it's a container that you're marinating in. But with this product, the olive oil sticks to all of your products, and within the olive oil, especially because you shake it up, all the other herbs and spices and the garlic. So you really can measure something out, and you don't need as much to coat your salad. I always pour it on, and then I just turn it with my fork to mix it up.
Yeah, the vinaigrette one is my favorite, just because I'm a big vinegar person. Yeah. It's just and you could really taste it. So it's amazing, and I appreciate you sharing, that information. And yeah, it is quite interesting because we want to encourage people to eat more salads in general, but I feel like dressings kind of defeat the purpose of why you're eating a salad to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's really awesome that, you and your family and your company is really changing the way that salad dressing is being made.
We are trying. So let me just tell you something else. So last night, right now, since John is deployed, I'm eating for one, or cooking for one, definitely eating for one, but cooking for one. And so I pulled out 3 scallops, so, just a larger size scallops, and I marinated them with some Savage balsamic, and I had them marinating for probably about 4 hours. And I grilled those with just with the marinade on it. And then I also added, I was turned on to cauliflower rice. I've been seeing it on Facebook. People have been posting it. I've been hearing all this delicious stuff. And I like cauliflower, but I never riced it up.
Right,
so I made a little rice medley, and I used asparagus and spinach, asparagus, and then I added the cauliflower rice to it, and just did a little salt, like a stir fry. And I added another tablespoon of that balsamic in there as well. So it is great as a salad dressing, but there's so many ways to use it as a marinade for meat. It's awesome on salmon, as a marinade for vegetables, whether you grill them or you saute them or roast them. One daughter, she roasts vegetables with it. But then there's all kinds of other ways you can drizzle it over the balsamic, especially over the like Roma tomatoes, mozzarella cheese with a little drizzle of balsamic. So there's a lot of ways that you can use our products.
Do you have a cookbook? I'm just curious if that's like in the works, because it sounds like there's so much you can do with your products.
It is definitely in the works. I have a Google Doc where I've typed up some of the things. And so that's definitely in the works. And then also what I really love to see are people that are using our products, and then they send me pictures and they say, I made crock pot chicken and potatoes with the Savage Centurion. And so I'm like, send me your recipe, because I think that there's so many different ways, and people are so creative to think about how they like to use a dressing or a marinade or a sauce. And then the other, I will tell you this, my brother-in-law called us up one day. John's from Georgia, and said, I'm going to tell you what Savage Centurion is good for. It's great as a mopping sauce, or he calls it a mopping sauce. He was eating pizza, and then the outer part, the crust of the pizza, a lot of times some of these pizza companies will sell you the garlic butter to dip your crust in.
Yep.
No, he thought that dipping the crust in the Savage Centurion was the best. Now, I haven't tried that yet.
Right? Okay. Yeah. That's a good thought. Cause I mean, at least when my husband gets pizza, lately I don't always eat the crust. And so that's a good idea.
Right? I know. And so I didn't think of that. My brother-in-law did. And, we need to add that to our recipe, because people that do like crust, and, you get the garlic butter, which tastes delicious, right? But it's garlic and buttery. And is it real butter? I don't know. And so our Savage Centurion mopping sauce would be a really good way to enjoy bread, maybe breadsticks, with a bit of extra virgin olive oil and no extra added, we call them crappy oils. None of those other oils that you see on the back of these salad dressings. And it tastes good. Really tastes good.
Yeah, I always feel like if I do have a salad dressing from the store, I don't know, I get like full faster, but I also feel a little dissatisfied. And I think it's because of all of that extra added ingredients that like it makes me almost feel like I didn't eat a salad, to begin with. And yeah, that's why I've always steered away from salad dressings from the stores. And so, like I feel like with your dressing, the times I've tried it already, it just feels like it's like, I feel like it almost, what's the word? It's kind of like, it brings out the best of the salad. Like, I feel like I'm actually eating my salad, And so, I think it's interesting. And I really encourage people to, one, look at the nutrition facts or the ingredients of the salad dressings in the stores and be mindful of those, bad ingredients, and then two, like consider an alternative.
Exactly. No, I think you're 100% right. And then, like I said, we have spent a lot of time looking at the back of salad dressings and also at the marinades, because the same thing goes for marinades. They add things that you can't even pronounce. And I think also our taste buds get accustomed to that sugary taste. So we think that an Italian dressing is supposed to taste watery and sugary, but really it's not. It's supposed to be bold, robust, savage. And our Savage Centurion Italian dressing is that. We also have a few more. I'm in the process of really perfecting a few more recipes, and we hope to have them on the market. We're hoping by next year. We're really trying to create meaningful, realistic goals. And so hopefully by this time next year, we can add a couple more products. I will give a teaser because being from Maryland, we eat a lot of seafood, a lot of crabs, and we use apple cider vinegar. Before people really were using apple cider vinegar, we've been using it. I've been using it all my life. So we have a few more on the horizon. So I'm excited to hopefully share them next year.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we'll have to touch base with you again next year.
Definitely.
Should the show be running still, which that's my plan. I love the name Semper Savage. We've been mentioning it like over and over throughout the show. And I'm curious to know, where did that name come from? Because I know for any business to come forward with a name, you have to put a lot of thought into it because that's how you're going to be representing yourself and your brand and everything. So how did Semper Savage come about?
So it wasn't easy. We were sitting down, starting to think about different names for the company, and we created a list. Actually, John really did most of that. He had this vision, and so there was this list going back to his family farm, things that he had experienced over his life. And so we came back to Semper Savage. So the Semper, the first word Semper, John is a Marine Corps veteran. And so Semper comes from Semper Fidelis. And then Savage actually was the call sign of the U.S. Marine Corps Attack Squadron, HMLA, the Red Dogs. And they were during service in Afghanistan from 2003 to 2005. So he really felt like that was a personal bit of the name for him. And so we also had to create a logo, and we actually created one logo and we have a new logo. So we had to change it. And so as your company is starting up, there's a lot of growing pains. With growing pains, there's a lot of things that you learn. And so we actually have a new logo that we had to recreate.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's what I enjoy the most about talking to small businesses and being a small business owner myself, is just like that you have to constantly evolve and change, and your brand and logo and design usually reflects that. So that's beautiful and deep, profound, just meaning behind the name. And I appreciate you taking the time to share that. The last question I have for you, Stacy, is how's it like working with your husband? Have you worked with him before you said, hey, you should do this? Like, how's it been like working with him and Semper Savage?
So to answer the first one, no, I've not really worked with him before. I mean, things like moving things around or something like that, but I have not worked with him before. And so first off, he has a clear vision. He has a clear vision of how he wanted that salad dressing to taste, the original Savage Centurion. And so we work well together because then I have all these other ideas. So I'm bringing in these ideas like popcorn popping in the microwave. So he has perfected this Savage Centurion. And I said, well, how about balsamic? How about apple cider? We're from Maryland. We have to have apple cider. So I'm bringing in a lot of these other ideas. I also think that being in the kitchen, and I love to grill. So John loves salad. He is a salad dressing fanatic, right? I like salad, but I like grilling my veggies and meat outside on the grill. And just like I said in my bio, I like to be outside in all kinds of weather, except for extreme heat and humidity. I'll do it, but I don't mind the cold. I love the cold, and I don't mind the rain. So I'm outside in January in the snow grilling. I'm outside in April when it's raining, and I'm loving to grill. So I bring into the company different perspectives on the ways that we could use this product. So he definitely has a vision, and he has a lot of connections being veteran owned. So I think we complement each other with just being in very different places with kind of our thoughts and ideas. they don't conflict with how to run the company, but just
Mhm.
we have these other ideas that we can pull together. So it's like two people working, not one person with two manpower,
Right.
right? But two different people working. And, we do share the same vision of supporting our veterans, our military, our first
Mhm.
responders. We also support the mission for people that want to eat healthy, no matter who people are, that they
Right.
want to eat something healthy that tastes good. And then also my final thing is I call it KISS. Keep it simple, Stacy. I like simple recipes too. So a
Mhm.
lot of the things I do, I have like marinate the meat and then some veggies with the balsamic or the centurion. But I try to keep things simple. And so I
Yeah.
think we shared that same, and also our family too. I mean, we really value family. When John comes back for some R&R, we spend most of our time up and down the East Coast visiting family and then working on Semper Savage. So I think in working together that while he definitely has that focus on what he wants, the mission of the product and the look and the feel, that we also share running the company.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a very collaborative effort. And I have to applaud all couples that work together because I think about the challenges that even my husband and I go through working together and doing everything together. And I mean, at least with John, he's deployed. So you get that nice distance away from him. I don't know if you prefer it or not, but I'm just thinking, oh, it'd be nice to have space away from him every now and then, or my husband every now and then. I say that jokingly. I love him. But no, it's beautiful. And I love how collaborative you all are and how you're family focused and just your support for military and first responders and everything. So I want to thank you personally, Stacy, for being a part of that and for, what you do with your company and with John. And I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today and also for your salad dressings. I've been enjoying both of them so far. And I'm going to have to try the marinating meat as well because we have like just frozen steak sitting in the freezer. We've been meaning to do something with it. I was like, I'm gonna marinate it with the Semper Savage. So I just want to thank you so much for all of that, for you today and for giving your time with us today. For people that want to learn more about Semper Savage and want to contact you and learn more about your dressings, how can they do that?
Great. So go to www.sempersavage.com. You can also find us on social media. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I think TikTok as well. John's been working on that one.
There you
But
go.
all of those are under Semper Savage, and we would love to hear from you. We would love for you to try our products. And then once you do, we would love to hear reviews about how you like the product and definitely the recipes that you used.
Thank you so much for your time. With that said, to our listeners, we want to also thank you for listening in. We hope that today's episode gave you one more piece of knowledge, resource, or relevant story so you can continue to make confident and informed decisions for you and your family. With that said, we look forward to speaking with you in the next episode. Tune in next time.